Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of How to Stop Being a Loser, the podcast. We're doing a video version today. I'm super excited. I've yet to do one of these, so this will be going on YouTube as well. This is episode 6, so thanks so much for tuning in or coming back. Welcome if you're new. Just thanks for being here. Okay, so I've had a lot of interesting DMs recently with like really specific questions, and I'm so flattered that so many women feel comfortable opening up to me and asking me for my advice. It's very, very cool. I'm very honored. So I wanted to answer all of these questions in a Q&A because I think they'd be really helpful for everyone to hear. Relationships, confidence, career, there's a lot of different things. So I've been kind of collecting all of these DMs and just screenshotting them and responding to the girls saying, I'm gonna answer these in a upcoming podcast episode. And then I asked on my Instagram story questions for the next podcast, and I got so many. I was really surprised and super flattered, and so many good ones. So this is just gonna be a Q&A video. A lot of it is, I mean, these are such good questions. They're really insightful, just about self-improvement, dating, youth, confidence, navigating life. So I'm really excited to get into it. Please subscribe to my YouTube or follow this podcast so that I can keep making making more of them. Okay, question 1. Hey, I absolutely love your content. You're obviously very smart. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask why you participate in beauty. Like, what is your reason? Of course, I understand you're an influencer and you have to be in front of a camera, so you feel the pressure to look pretty and presentable, but at the same time, you're catering to the male gaze by performing beauty rituals. And I'm not saying I'm trying to blame you. My question is, how do you grapple with this dichotomy? Interesting. Okay. So here's the thing. I grew up doing acting, theater. I have been in front of a camera since I was 6. I've been performing for people since I was 5. And like, even growing up, I was always the kid that got up on the fireplace, like in front of my family, and would do skits. Like when I was in the 6th grade, I had a big group of guys and girls, and I would like write these little skits for us to do in front of the class. They were really funny. Like, I've always loved stand-up and comedy, and I've just always loved the entertainment industry, and with that comes a lot of external presentation. Obviously, I did theater for 13 years. That's a lot of makeup. So that's where my love for makeup really began, because you have to be good at it. You don't have to be good at it, but you have to be able to put it on and like learn about it, and costume makeup. And I always liked it from more of an artistry perspective, and I always have seen it as something to get better at and to really develop an eye for color and tone matching. And if you've watched me for a while, it's so funny. I started doing beauty and I wasn't the best at it. Like, my foundation color was off and I couldn't quite get, my eyeshadow right, and it's just developed so much, and now I feel like I've gotten quite good at makeup. But even in high school, like, I always did my girlfriend's makeup. Like, I remember teaching all the girls how to put on their fake eyelashes. And so I do want to say that saying that first of all, and I don't mean this in a pretentious way, and if anyone is taking it that way, that is ridiculous, frankly, but I'm pretty, and I was born pretty, and a lot of women are born pretty, and if you were born pretty, that is what it is. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's not something that deserves praise, it's not an accomplishment, it just is what it is. If you were born pretty, and that's a strength that you have, you can either decide that it has something to do with the male gaze, and so you're not going to lean into that or be proud of that or use that to your advantage, or you can see it as a strength and play to it. And if I've learned one thing in this life, you need to play to your strengths. And if you're pretty, you're pretty. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. And I want to say that I think the concept of being pretty catering to the male gaze is ridiculous. In my opinion, I think it's ridiculous. And if you're thinking that way, you're probably contributing to that. And I don't mean that in an aggressive way, but let me tell you something I've learned about beauty that I preach a lot. Being pretty and being attractive and having sex appeal are two completely different things. I've seen women that are objectively stunning be some of the least attractive people you've ever met in your life because they don't carry themselves well and they don't take care of themselves. They're just naturally pretty, but the way that they carry themselves is poor. I talked about this in, was it the last podcast? Go listen to that, because I talk so much about the difference between filling up your face with as much filler as possible, caking on as much makeup as possible, dyeing your hair to the point where it's frying off, putting in so many extensions into your head that you don't even care if it looks fake because you just want to look like you have bigger hair because you want to look sexier. The concept of doing everything you can to cover up because you don't like how you look and you just want to appear more attractive to men is very different than actually taking care of yourself and putting a lot of effort into getting good at your makeup, into getting good at the way that you present yourself, taking really good care of your skin, you know, doing things that make you glow from the inside out, your diet, your exercise, taking care of your nails, taking care of your hair. Self-care and taking care of yourself will make you feel prettier, and it will make you more attractive to everyone, and it will make you feel sexier than all of the covering up will ever do. Like, spend more time figuring out how to feel good without makeup on, without all the extra stuff, than you do thinking about how can I make myself more attractive with more and more stuff I'm adding on. Does that make sense? That is not to say that you shouldn't do those things. Like, I've considered getting a nose job. I want to get a breast augmentation. I bleach my hair. I get my nails done. They're real because I take great care of them. But I love makeup. I love makeup. And I don't mean this in a cocky way, but I've always sought approval in friends and in older people, and I've always really, really needed that approval. I genuinely have never had that with men. And that's not because I'm so amazing. It's because of my childhood and the way that I was raised and the cards that I was dealt. And I still love makeup. I'm in love with how I look. I love the way that I present myself. And I put on makeup on days where I don't see anyone when I don't leave the house, because it makes me feel put together, because I love the act of putting it on and putting effort into my face. So I don't really see a dichotomy there. I think you need to decide the reason why you're doing the things that you're doing for your physical appearance, and don't fool yourself for 1 second that physical appearance doesn't have something to do with confidence. It has a lot less to do with it than I think people realize, but you taking care of yourself and caring about the way that you present yourself shows great respect for the environment that you're in and the people around you, and it shows that you care enough about yourself to put that effort into yourself. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that it needs to have anything to do with anyone else but yourself. Those are my thoughts. I hope that answered it, and I hope that wasn't too harsh. Let me just make sure I answered this question. You feel the pressure to look pretty. No, I don't. I don't feel the pressure to look pretty. I don't feel pressure from anyone to do that. I have a 30-minute skincare routine every night. I work out all the time. I take great care of myself because I love taking care of myself. I love worshiping my body. I love putting effort into myself. It is such a sacred thing for me, and I don't feel pressure to do it at all. It is something I genuinely have grown to enjoy so much. I don't feel that way. And I'm performing beauty rituals not to cater to the male gaze. See, I think I think there's a lot of misdefinition going on here. So if that's what your concept is, that needs to change. And I'm really excited for you, because I hope that you can get to a place where the things that you do are for yourself, and you get to a place where you're not obsessing so much over how you look. Because it's not about how you look, it's about how you feel. And how you look is a small but important part of that. Anyway, I think I'm rambling. Okay, moving on. I really want to start content creation as a form of passive income. I love that you put air quotes by that. Because I love giving advice and sharing what I learned in life, and I would be ideally creating a platform with content similar to yours. How do I start? I have so much to share, but I never know how to put it in TikTok form, and also not get embarrassed giving advice to my 1,000 followers of just friends. I'd also want to be posting recipes, fitness, not just advice. Any advice or suggestions you have for me, I appreciate, and be 100% real with me. Oh, I love it. Okay, here's the thing, girl. I was really embarrassed for so long. No, I still am. Okay, the thing is, it doesn't go away. It really doesn't go away, and something I've learned is you need to feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah, you gotta do it embarrassed, and you need to do it scared, and you need to do it nervous, and you need to do it anxious. I mean, probably once a month I freak out and overanalyze my content and call my friends, and I'm like, I feel like my content's cringy, I feel like it's embarrassing, I feel like it sucks, I wanna do something else with my life, and then I get over it, because I force myself to. Also, 1,000 is a lot. You don't realize how much that is, but if you put 1,000 people into one room, that's a ton of people. Like, I always see people going, oh, I only got 200 likes on this. I'm like, put 200 people in a room, that's a lot of people. And who cares about the volume? You know, you're making it about them. And you're giving your power away to these people. Yeah, it's nice knowing that you've got a lot of people that are supporting you, but you've got to be your own biggest advocate. If you want to create content, you need to do it. And you're too concerned about what other people in general. And I know that you probably already know that, but sometimes, you know, it's good to just hear it from someone else. This whole thing about I don't have enough followers, you got to get them. Like, you have to start somewhere. And trust me, no one with 1 million followers, no one with a substantial following, and no one that is confident in themselves would make fun of you. So why do you care what the losers think? Okay? You just start. The more that you sit around planning, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect execution, the further you're getting. Human beings don't learn from planning, you learn by doing. We're very action-oriented beings, and you learn from experience. Like, the confidence is gonna come from reps. Confidence is as assertive does. You have to assert the action for the confidence to come. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it comes from. The more you do it, the better it's gonna get, but you have to do it. Do it as a test. Do one video that you're scared to do. I remember being so petrified to post a get ready with me video. It was the most benign video in the entire world. I remember being so freaked out, and then I watched the views go up and up and up. I remember it got to 300,000 views, and I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Should I delete it? And then, you know, the world did not end. That was 4 years ago, and now I do it full time. And no one remembers that video. No one remembers it. So much of my content is cringy. Like, oh my God, so much of it is cringy. But that's just the reality of it. Like, you have to get better at things. Content creating is a job. You need to treat it like a full-time job. And just like anything, you have to put the reps in and work at it and be consistent, and you will get better at it. But it takes time, and it takes a lot of consistency. So don't try to not be embarrassed. Don't try to not be afraid. Just do it. Just do it and do it and do it. And the confidence will come. But you have to just start and not strategize so much, because you'll end up just vacillating and paralyzing yourself. Yeah. And remember that you're not the center of anyone else's universe, and people don't care nearly as much as you think they do. Like, no one is sitting around thinking about you and your videos. And even if they do, it's probably just for a second. Humans are egocentric. They have one perspective, one brain, one consciousness, and most of it is going to be spent worrying about themselves and their lives, because it's a survival instinct. The brain is a survival tool. If your videos are so important to them that they're sitting around thinking about it all day, that's not happening. It's just not happening. They're thinking about themselves. So yeah, don't worry about it. Also remember that you're going to die, and it's not going to matter. And all of the people judging you are going to die. You've only got like 90 years, or however old you are. 70 years, 80 years, and then you're done. So just do it, okay? That's my advice. Suck it up. I figured you could lend me some advice. I'm not very smart, and I don't really learn things. And if I do, it's at a very slow rate, and then I forget it. I don't know what to do because I want to be smart and be able to learn, but somehow my memory and everything is compromised, and it has led me to a deep depression. I know this is so stupid, but I thought maybe you could help. First of all, any smart person would not have DM'd this. This takes a lot of confidence and introspection and self-awareness to even think like this. Also, I can just tell from this that you're well-spoken and smart. So the reason that you're being dumb is because you have this self-limiting belief. It's not real. I will say this over and over again. You tell people who you are, not the other way around. If you tell yourself you're whether you tell yourself you're dumb or you tell yourself you're smart, either way, you're right. You're right. You don't have limitations that other people, like, you don't have. If someone else is capable of doing it, you're probably capable of doing it too. Maybe you're not a Mensa smart, I'm gonna go become an astrophysicist genius, okay? That's something I've really had to come to terms with, is like, I love learning and I know that I'm smart, but I'm not like a genius. I'm not like a freak. And some people just are. I mean, you know, like my boyfriend is really, really smart. I'm better at some things than he is, but he's much better with numbers. He's much better at math. There are just a lot of things that he's better at, and it's really frustrating to me sometimes to not get jealous of other people, or like, you know, someone could study for 8 hours and the other person could study for 1, and the person who studies for 1 could do better on the test. Sure, maybe they're quote unquote smarter at that strategy, or not at that thing. What am I trying to say? They might be smarter in certain facets with certain apparatuses, but that's not to say, the word smart is such an ambiguous term. Smart in what way? Because I could argue that communication is the most important skill there is, and you seem very good at it. I think I'm a master communicator. I really do. I think I'm a master of social skills. That's really what I'm best at. Not to say that I'm bad at academics, but I'm not naturally a genius at them. And I have to work harder than someone else. But guess what? There's always going to be someone smarter than you, and there's always going to be someone dumber than you. So this concept of smart, for you to be, like, for something to be big means something else needs to be small. Like, this is a comparison game, and if you weren't comparing yourself, you wouldn't know the difference. Like, if you were on a deserted island alone, you wouldn't be thinking about whether or not you were smart or whether or not you were dumb. Does that make sense? Like, the only reason where these traits come in is because you're comparing yourself to other people, and that is stupid. That's the biggest waste of time, because it's completely useless. Everyone else is in their own lane, and the only person you should be competing with is yourself. But I will say, if you want to enhance your intellectual curiosity, if you want to become more well-spoken, if you want to become more knowledgeable, a better problem solver, a better critical thinker, those kinds of things, then you can improve them. Absolutely, you can improve them. But sitting around saying I feel like I'm dumb, I feel like I'm not smart, is so sad. And I know how you feel, because I do feel like that sometimes too. But you know, I have to stop myself and realize, like, am I throwing myself a pity party right now? You gotta get real honest. Like, am I feeling really bad for myself? Because that's a complete waste of time. Watch my TikToks. I'm not just saying that, but most of my content is intellectual advocacy and, you know, education and how to work your brain, play brain games, read books, stop measuring. That's actually my biggest piece of advice I would give you. Stop measuring how long it takes you to learn things, how difficult it is for you. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the learning process. Find enjoyment in it and think of it as a hobby. Make learning a lifestyle, and you'll feel smarter, and the confidence will grow. But yeah, you gotta shift your mindset. Stop saying, the most important things you say in life are after the word I am, words I am. So, you know, figure out what makes you smart and embrace that. And if you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself. That's what I would tell you. And push yourself intellectually. Learn things and read and write and listen to intellectual podcasts and watch documentaries and take free Harvard classes online. And if you can, go back to school. Or, you know, there's a lot of education opportunities. And if you want to study something, look up opportunities to study neuroscience or psychology or whatever. All right. Are those the rest of the DMs? Let's see if I have any more. I've been like saving them. Here's one. Okay, this is kind of tea. I've been talking to this guy for a month, and we actually met at a wedding, and we started texting right away. We live in 2 different states. We haven't called or FaceTimed yet, and I was just wondering how you would go about addressing it without being too much, if that makes sense. I've tried to be flirty and hinted at stuff before, but he doesn't really play into it, but he keeps texting me, so I'm just confused. All right, I'm gonna say this. Men are clueless. They're so clueless. Not because they're idiots, not because they're stupid, but because their brains are different than ours. And anyone who argues with me on this, that is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Men are very black and white in general, on average. They do well with measurable, quantitative goals. I know it seems like, well, what girl wouldn't want them to call me? Wouldn't want a guy to call? Whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be thinking, of course I would want him to FaceTime me. I'm flirting with him. It's so obvious. No, girl. You have to be so direct and tell him what you need and then let him lead. But you got to kind of you have to give him a goal that he can reach. If you can give him a goal, he will reach it. And when a man really likes a woman, really cares about her, he will do anything. But you have to tell him what that is, though. Like my boyfriend says all the time, he's like, you'll tell me that you like things, and I'll be like, I had no idea that you liked that. And it's like something really, really obvious to me, but it's not obvious to them. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So I don't know how you're flirting, but you might just need to initiate it. Initiate a call or initiate a FaceTime, and then don't initiate one ever again, and then see what he does, okay? Say something like, first of all, I hate the texting thing. The whole concept of we met at a wedding and we're texting back and forth and we live in different states. I don't love that, but that's just me. So I think it's really important that you call, that you FaceTime, and that you make an effort to see each other. And also, what are you doing? Like, are you just flirting with him because you're bored, or are you looking for a boy? I'm just gonna say, you have to be so direct with him. Like, I think our second date, I told my boyfriend, I was like, look, I'm looking for like a husband. Like, I'm looking for a long-term serious relationship. I'm not interested in anything else. If that's what you're interested in, then great, let's keep going. But if not, that's completely fine. I just, you know, don't waste my time and just let me know now and we can be friends. Like, you don't need to be wondering, why is it up to him? I feel like everything is up to him right now. Like, don't do that. Do you want to call? Do you want to FaceTime? Like, what do you need? So yeah, put the ball in his court by making the first move and then seeing what he does, okay? And after that, if you're confused, it's because he doesn't like you. If you can't tell if he likes you or not, it's because he doesn't. Sorry. All right, moving on. How to let go of past mistakes. Find the value. Find the value in them. That's how you let go of them. You turn them into something positive, because you can't let them go. Energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. So figure out what you learned from it, figure out how it's gonna make you better, how it's gonna be a productive, positive thing for you, and then anytime you think about the mistake, no longer a mistake, it was a lesson. And what was that lesson? And how can I use it today? There you go. Recently, I felt with a friend offering me criticism that it's selfish of. I don't know what that means. I'm very sorry. moving on. Finding hobbies and things to do with post-grad life with more free time after work. I just made a TikTok about hobbies. I will list some now. Volunteering in an animal shelter or learning to horseback ride, my favorite. I love being around animals, incredibly therapeutic, teaches you empathy, teaches you patience, problem-solving skills. I could talk about animals all day long. I'm such an animal person. Go be around animals. If you live somewhere where there is nature, mountains, beach, trails, forest, go take advantage of that. Lakes, go figure out how to be outside, be with nature. So good for your health. Like just being around nature and reconnecting with the earth. Oh my God, so much benefits. So many benefits. Gardening, you can make those little homemade terrariums. Those are so cool. Like indoor plants, getting into plants I think is really good. Getting into wellness in general, vitamins and supplements and tea and health foods and you know, lymphatic drainage and Ayurvedic things. And not all of it is science-based, but a lot of it is just fun and good for you. And, you know, just, I think figuring out how to take care of yourself, developing new self-care routines. If your workout is just going to the gym, I think figure out how to make it a little bit more extracurricular and a little bit more stimulating, I think is the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, like, you could do boxing, and that way now you're learning self-defense. You could do biking, and now you're into bikes, swimming, running, yoga, reformer Pilates. What else could you do? Surfing, horseback riding, pickleball, tennis, golfing, those kinds of things. What else? Art, any kind of art, sketching, coloring books. I actually love coloring books and I've been wanting to get back into them because they're so relaxing, especially like the Zentangles ones or like the calming ones. I love those little Scandinavian girl like fashion coloring books. Like you can do little fashion sketches. Craft kits at Hobby Lobby. Go to Hobby Lobby and pick something out. Or like a craft store. Pick something out and make it. Jewelry making, beading. You can bead little magnets. You can bead little purses. Yeah, antique shopping, thrifting is a great hobby, pottery. Oh, look, a baby bunny's outside. Guys, I think that's a sign. I've actually been looking to volunteer at a bunny sanctuary, and I've emailed these people like 3 times and they won't respond, but I love bunnies. Love bunnies. Anyway, yeah. So I think it's just reading, writing, take a class, cooking is so good for you. Baking, that's all I can think of right now. Anyways, what are some effective ways to protect oneself from the influence of negative people whom one encounters daily, such as at work or school? Okay, so the reason why you're saying this is because you're letting it affect you. First of all, it depends on the degree. If you're getting like bullied, or this is a situation where people are like harassing you, you gotta switch environments. If it's actually that bad. And you gotta be honest with yourself, like, are these people just assholes that I probably need to learn to deal with and like stop interacting with and like stop giving my power away to? Or is this something where I'm being like actually harassed and bullied? And be honest about that. Don't be dramatic because you're gonna have to deal with assholes. That's just a reality of life. So if it's a situation where you're being like, you know the difference. Be honest with yourself. Anyway, I'm gonna assume that it's not that. So I would say remove yourself for sure. Switch schools, switch jobs, or decide that you're not going to be available for it. Decide that people that are being negative like that are so much more miserable than you, and it's almost patronizing, but you have to start feeling bad for them and like actually pitying them. Do you know how much energy it takes for someone to be a negative person and how draining that is? People only do things out of one of two things. People only ever do things out of love or fear. They're doing it out of fear. If someone is being negative towards you or just around you, if they're constant complainers, if they're energy suckers, it's fear. They're afraid of something. Something happened to them in their life that has made them this way. And that's like really sad. I would tell you to find empathy for them and be like, wow, this person is so negative and so sad and hurt from something that happened to them that this is how they operate all the time. And how sad is that? And I would just look at them and be like, you know, it's pity. It really is. It's like a feeling of pity that you need to start adopting with these people. And if there is a conversation of complaining and they're trying to get you to engage in it, don't talk shit. Don't participate. If they're being mean to you ever, the best thing you can say is, I'm not available for this conversation right now. Or make it, you know, energetically like you're not going to be available for it. Like if they start talking about something that's negative or complaining or draining, remove yourself. Think of things that you're grateful for. Think of things that make you happy. Think of positive things and just kind of take your power back. That's what I would say. I really want to know how you organize everything. I am a type C person. Okay, so I'm type A and type B. I'm very organized. I'm actually quite good at time management, but I'm also always late. And like I'm super organized and super clean with my stuff but I'm also like always missing something. Okay, I'm very type C. I say organized because I like organizing and I romanticize organizing, and I do it for like 30 minutes a day. I clean for 30 minutes a day. I like to clean. I like things to be clean. Clean space, clean mind. Organizing will always bring me back to myself, and having a fresh, clean room with a candle lit and a cup of tea and a book. There are a few things I find more enjoyable in this life. And I play music and I play a podcast and I open the windows and I light a candle and I romanticize organizing and cleaning, and I do it for like 30 minutes a day. Sometimes I set a timer and do it, but it's built into my daily routine. It's 30 minutes of my day. What is 30 minutes out of 8 hours of the day? What percentage is that? It's low. Never been great at math. So that's how you do it. You build it into your daily routine. And you start thinking about how lucky you are to have things to organize. So my stepmother loves gardening and making her own food and growing her own food and like taking care of her stuff, because she grew up in a shack in Southeast Asia with a dirt floor. So for her, the opportunity to even, which that's a whole other story that I should get into, but she just had poverty isn't even a way to describe it. It was barbaric. Like, and she's the most grateful person you've ever met in your life. And she sees all of those things as an opportunity. So start viewing it as like, I have all of these clothes to organize. Like sometimes I think about how annoyed I am to do laundry. And then I realize, not only do I have a full closet, I like pretty much everything in here. I bought almost all of it with my own money that I was given. It's not that I'm not deserving, but I was so blessed to receive. And some of these things, like hundreds of dollars of these things, I was given for free. And I'm upset that I have to fold them and put them away in my big ass closet. Shut up. I know that's probably not what you're asking, but it just made me think of, sometimes it's just being grateful and enjoying the experience. I organize my day, I organize my week every Sunday. I put a list in notes in, I put a list in my notes app on my phone, and I time block, and I'm completely okay with that plan changing. That's how I organize things. As long as I get done the main objectives of the day, like I film all my stuff, I answer all my emails, I do my podcast, I write my Substacks, I film my YouTube videos, my TikTok, and I post on Instagram, and I study for the LSAT, and I clean, I'm done. And then, all the other things, and I exercise. All of those things I try to do in a day, and I'm okay with that plan changing, but yeah. And then every night, before I go to bed, I have the day kind of planned out, and I just write like the things I need to get done that day, and like kind of a time frame of what the day is gonna look like. That's how I organize things. Yeah. How to connect with people, how to easily make friends. Wow, I have so much content on this on my TikTok, but I'm gonna keep it short for the purposes of this video. I don't mean this in an arrogant way. The thing that I am the best at personally is connecting with other people. Like, that is my gift, and it's not everyone's gift. There are people that are not great at it, but they're so gifted at other things. So I will say some of that is just natural for me, and it's because I love people so much. I find them absolutely fascinating. I want to know everything about everyone that I meet, because it's such an opportunity. Everyone knows something that you don't, and has a story that you know nothing about. And it's always baffled me when people are like, well, we just really didn't have anything to talk about. And I'm like, it's an entire human being with an entire set of years and people and experiences and beliefs and thoughts and preferences and tastes and traveling and hobbies that you don't know anything about and you had nothing to talk about. I don't know. Whenever I meet someone, I've got 4,000 questions for them. Ask questions, be genuinely curious, and be as present as possible. That's how you connect with people, and that's how you make friends. Stop making it about you. Stop obsessing over how interesting you can make yourself. Stop obsessing over how much you think they're liking you or how you think they're taking it. Make it about them for a second. People are so narcissistic that oftentimes our way of connecting with people is, let me tell you how great I am. No. People want to talk about important things. People want to talk about interesting things. People are craving authenticity. So talk to them, but it's more about being genuinely curious and present. Put your fucking phone down, make eye contact, and absorb what they're saying and chew on what they're saying. Instead of just going, yeah, no, that's really cool. That's really interesting. Shut up. Like, actually take in what they're saying and authentically find the value in this conversation. What can you learn from this? Who is this person? I don't know. That's my deal. And then don't ever be desperate. Anything that you chase in this life is going to run in the opposite direction. This is not a problem for most people. It's a problem for me. I love to chase friends. I've never chased a man. Never chased a man. But I chase friends instead. I think a lot of the ways that a lot of women I see are anxiously attached to men, I can get like that with my friends. And I end up obsessively texting, freaking out when they don't text me back. You know the deal. Like that feeling. Everyone knows that feeling. But let people come to you and be magnetic. And I know that sounds like complicated, but it's not. It's just about genuinely being curious in other people, wanting to be friends with and connect with other people, and talk about meaningful things and asking them insightful, intentional questions. And you know, after that happens, if you get their number or something, ask them to hang out. But if they're busy or they're not responding, you don't need to, you know, you don't want to be a desperate friend. You want to let people come to you and let them ask you questions at the same time. So finding the balance between that. Advice on how to make hard decisions. Oh my God. I love this question. Just pick one. Just pick one, because things are going to end up how they're going to end up regardless of what you do. And you need to kind of pick something and then deal with it later. You will be 10 times more productive if you just go. Think about it. Okay? Trust yourself. Don't be impulsive, but don't procrastinate. Take time. Journal about it. Maybe ask one or two people that you trust, that you respect, that are in places in their life that you think are inspiring to you. But I think most of the time with hard decisions in your life, you need to look inward and keep it to yourself. You are capable. You need to learn how to be self-reliant and trust yourself. And at the end of the day, you're the only person that has to go to bed and wake up with whatever this decision is. So look inward, ask yourself, what would I tell a friend to do in this situation? If you're really, really struggling, then you ask someone, but it's inward, it's inside. And just fucking pick something, okay? It's gonna be fine, you're gonna figure it out. At the end of the day, it's not about the decision that you make, it's about what you do. Life is it's a series of decisions over and over and over and over and over again. So the fact that this one is hard to you because you're placing more value on it for some reason, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to deal with it the way you're going to deal with it. Nothing is permanent, and you're wasting time. Not that you're, well, I don't want to say wasting time, but it would be more lucrative to you to pick something and figure it out later. Figure it out as you go. You learn as you go in life. Procrastination is such a deadly thing. It is my least favorite thing. And I don't mean procrastinating your homework or being productive. I mean pursuing your hobbies, making decisions like this, going after your dreams. You know, rumination, I hate. Rumination is chewing on things and thinking about things and really digesting them. I mean, in an obsessive way, in a way that's not serving you. But because whatever you think on more is gonna grow. And so if you're thinking about how hard of a decision this is and you keep saying that over and over again, it's just going to appear harder and harder to you. Trust me, in the big scheme of life, it's probably not a big deal. Unless someone really close to you has like died, or I don't know, you've had a child. It's probably not that big of a deal. If we're talking about getting back together with an ex and you don't know what to do, just fucking pick something and deal with it later. Because you might marry this guy in 10 years and you might not. Sorry, we needed to move locations. Tips on how to be productive when you're in a slump, procrastination tips. I just made a whole podcast about how to get out of a funk, how to get out of a slump. So I'm gonna recommend that because it's gonna be way more helpful than anything I could try and fit in a couple minutes on here. Let's see, what else is a good question? Your relationship dynamic, your relationship slash dynamic slash how often you hang together. Okay, so my relationship, I'm very happy in. And it's interesting because our dynamic is something we talk about a lot, and how often we spend time together is a very specific thing that I think keeps our relationship healthy. He doesn't want to be on social media. He doesn't have, I mean, he has social media, but he doesn't have like the actual apps downloaded, so he doesn't have it on his phone. And I think we both just like keeping our relationship private. We're both very, very social, extroverted, work hard, play hard kind of people, and so we have so much of that, and we just didn't really want it included in like my social media or like on my YouTube or my TikTok. I think we both have more traditional approaches to our relationship, which I love so much. I love a more traditional style, and what I mean by that is we do not text all day every day. We call, and we have phone calls like at the end of the day, and it's not like a strict regimented thing like we were texting each other just now, but like it's definitely, we would never be like, how's your day going, or like, what's up, just because I think it takes away so much of the excitement that comes from being with each other, and it makes it less of an occasion when you do get to catch up with each other, and you get to catch up about your day, and it's exciting to tell him, you know, all the things that have happened that day. And like, I think maintaining mystery is really fun and important. And if we didn't have phones, there would be so much more of that. And so I really like just a more old school style. I go over there on the weekends, and I'll spend like the whole weekend at his house. And then like one night a week, I'll go over there and like sleep over, maybe twice a week, but like half the time, I would say. A lot of people, so you just bought this new house, and a lot of our couple friends live together, and a lot of people asked us like why we don't live together, and that's why neither of us want to until we're married. And I think that maybe is a little bit controversial, and it's super old school, but like, it has made me so happy to go slow and date, and like traditionally like old school date. And like, he sends me flowers, and he picks me up, and he opens the door for me, and we do like traditional old school dating. Like, we do not do the texting phone thing. And I just think that has worked so well for us. It's not for everyone, and I want to be so clear that everyone's relationship dynamic and style is going to be different. That's the beauty of it. So just because this is what works for me and this is what I like doesn't mean that if you're doing something different or you like something different that that's wrong at all. I just like having space in our togetherness. There's a great quote, it's there must be space in our togetherness, and I think that's so special. I just like that. I like an old school style relationship, and that's just me. I have always seen, here's the thing, living together before marriage to see if you live well together, that doesn't work for me in my brain, because you're kind of trying to get a test run, a trial run, but you're doing everything that you would do if you were married. So for me, it's not a trial run to see if you live well together, because once you move in together, you're doing everything you would do if you were married, if you were engaged. So why not just get engaged? I also find it a little bit, you know, there's a lot of respect for the woman, because now you're doing everything that you would do if you were married, but a lot of times he doesn't want to actually put a ring on the finger. And it's like, what is that about? And I just think, okay, so you get a test run for living together, quote unquote, which, let's be honest, is a test run for marriage, which you can do not living together. But you don't get a test run for the baby. Like, if you want to have kids, there's so many things you don't get a test run for. How you work together financially, how you guys are going to work on that. Like, I mean, so many things come up. Health issues come up, family things come up, kids come up. Like, there's so many things that come up in a relationship that you can't predict. You don't get a test run for anything in life. So why are you trying to like cheat the system to see if you work well living together? Also, statistically, people stay together 30% more when they don't live together before marriage. And that's not me trying to convince you to do that, because if you think that's dumb and that's something that you need, do it. And I support that. I know couples that they love that and it's great for them. Not my style. Like, I want him to ask my parents and, like, you know, I want to be married before we live together. So we definitely, he's such a good boyfriend. Like, such a good boyfriend. And he's very authentic. Like, I saw this quote on Substack and it was like, if he writes you a couple sonnets, if he writes you a few sonnets, he loves you. If he writes you 1,000 sonnets, he loves sonnets. And I've experienced in past relationships, not love bombing, but that kind of feeling of like texting all day, every day, and always need to know what you're doing and where you are, and just constant I love you, like 7 times a day, texting each other I love you, and always on the phone together, and we want to be together every second of every day. And I always felt suffocated, and it always felt inauthentic to me. And I find when I read that quote, it hit me that it's like authentic love and like really meaning it is not an obsessive, overbearing, lovey-dovey all the time thing. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, so yeah, we have a really interesting dynamic. We're very sarcastic with each other. We're very bantery. We kind of acted like we hated each other for a very long time. And we still do sometimes, but we like are very, very into each other. So yeah, it's great banter. We have a very good, we both work very hard. We both love, you know, we're both very achiever, career-oriented people, but we're also very social. We both love to party and go out, and we have so much fun together. So much fun together. Like, we're very, very similar in our senses of humor. He's so funny. He's so smart. So we really challenge each other, which I think is really good. Like, really, we challenge each other in very different facets, and we're both very good at different things. We specialize in different things, and so we make a really good team. But yeah, it's a very fun, flirty, challenging, bantery, kind of old school thing. He's from New Orleans. Yeah. It's great. That's all I can think of. I love my relationship dynamic. It's really special to me. and I like moving slow. I like dating and going slow, and we both allow each other a lot of freedom because there's just so much trust, and I think that comes from a place of personal confidence and security within each other. We're both very secure in ourselves, and so there's not really a whole lot of anxious attachment coming from either of us. And so, yeah, it's very, very healthy. It's the healthiest thing I've ever experienced, and I'm very grateful for that. So, yeah. Yeah, and we don't do social media. I mean, like, I obviously do it full time, but I don't scroll very much. He doesn't have it at all. So, you know, we go to dinner together. We do a lot of dating. We do a lot of dating. And we make a really good team. So, yeah, that's all I can think of, I think. All right, what else? We have, how do you balance social media use? I don't use it very often. I really, really don't. I'm not a scroller. I don't really do social media. I watch YouTube videos, like documentaries and things. I don't have a TV in my room. I don't use the TV at our house. Like, my boyfriend and I will watch a show together sometimes, but like we're watching Game of Thrones because he's never seen it. But I'm not a big electronics girl, to be honest. I love creating content, and I like consuming Substack. Like, I like to read, and I will watch, like, I love Paige Lorenz's YouTube vlogs and things like that, and there are other creators that I will, like, support, but it's just not good for me. It's really, really not good for me. And I'm studying for the LSAT, and so my attention span needs to be very strong, and so I've really cut back on it. I would delete it if it wasn't my job, just for right now. But there are some creators that talk about intellectual things and educational things that I will go to their account and watch. But no, I don't sit around scrolling for hours. I really, really don't. I watch specific creators that I feel feed me creatively or in an educational way. That's it. How to be a better listener. Stop thinking about what you're gonna say next. Think really intentionally about what the other person is telling you. And don't let it go in one ear out the other. If someone told you something, like, really let it hit you. If someone tells you something, go, wow, tell me more about that. How did that kind of affect your life? Or, wow, if that happened to me, I would think X, Y, Z. Just go deeper when people are talking to you. And stop thinking about how your face looks. Stop thinking about what you're gonna say next. Put all of your attention on them and what they're saying to you. And just find gratitude for the fact that someone is speaking to you and taking the time to talk to you about something and tell you something about their life. Job hunting and tips for it. Listen to me. Networking, I am the networking queen, okay? I know someone in every single freaking industry you could think of because I actually work at it. When I couldn't find a job before I started doing social media full time and I didn't know what to do with myself and my life, I started bartending at the most prestigious exclusive country club in the city I can find. I made so many connections there. I had a job in 2 months. Sometimes it's about who you know. Actually, it's always about who you know. Say yes to everything. Go to coffee with anyone. Ask anyone to coffee. Pick their brain. Ask them 4,000 questions about what they wish they knew when they were younger. What's their favorite part about their job? What does a day in their life look like? If you wanted to get in their industry, what would that look like? What advice do you have for me? Any professional in any industry. If you're not a creative and you come into contact with a creative, take them to go get coffee just to pick their brain. People love talking about themselves. Just ask questions. You will get somewhere. Keep opening doors. Stop obsessing over blindly submitting your resume to LinkedIn applications over and over again without a follow-up email, without anything to set you apart, and be intentional. Like, you kind of got to clock in a little bit. And if you really know what to do, go get a job. Bartending. Go get a job where you're going to be around, you know, people that are higher class or people that are in industries that you would want to be a part of, and just start networking your ass off. Get really good at networking. There you go. Tips for getting into content creation, influencing, etc. I will tell you what I wish I knew starting off. First of all, I started making YouTube videos at 16, and I'd been in front of a camera since I was very young. I'd always been a good talker. I'd never been shy, but that didn't help at all, because with, you know, the fact that it's embarrassing at first. Like in high school, I'd go to parties and people would have my, like, I remember I walked into a room and like I'd gone to the restroom or something, came back, and they were watching my YouTube videos, like making fun of it. And, you know, people are assholes, and people, you know, think it's cringy or whatever. You have to just keep doing it and get over it. And I know that or not get over it, but feel the fear and do it anyway, like I said. But yeah, so what I wish I would have known, with your personality, don't try so hard. I think a lot of people try really hard to find like a secret code. I hate the accounts on TikTok that are like hooks to start using, or like 3 steps to make your content better. Don't listen to that. It's bullshit. Like, what you do is you be authentic. And it took me up until now to do that. Like, I'm just now really figuring out what makes my content great. And it's when I'm the most authentically me. It's when I'm not trying too hard. If I don't feel like being funny that day because I'm not feeling great or I'm tired, that's how I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm in a great mood if I'm not. I'm gonna talk about the things that I wanna talk about. I was beauty based, and I love beauty, and I love makeup, and I love all these things, but like what I really love is advice and education and self-improvement and intellectual curiosity. And so that's what I started talking about. And I just started talking. I stopped worrying about how long the video was. My best videos are like 7 minutes long. I was so worried that no one was gonna like them, because you gotta get people attention span. No one has attention spans anymore. It's like, you need to just be you. You need to stop looking at other people's content for inspiration, and you need to just film your own life, and you need to do things authentically as they come up. For TikTok specifically, be natural and be you. Think about what makes you happy and make content about that. Make a mood board, create a personal brand, and do that. Stop looking at other people's shit. Stop trying to recreate other people's things. You have it, it's inside of you. Like, you have every single tool you need inside of you. But I think a big thing is like, and sure, like, you might, that's gonna take a while. Like, it's going to take a while. It's taken me years. And looking back on my videos, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so obnoxious. Like, I'm trying so hard to be funny and like have a bit, and I'm very much interesting enough on my own. I don't need to like put on this performance thing. I mean, sometimes it's funny, and like sometimes I'm in the mood to be playful, but again, it's only if I'm in the mood. Like, if I don't have a funny joke, I'm not gonna sit there and try and think of one and then record it 75 times. I'm trying to make sure the timing's right, because it's just fake. People have really high bullshit detectors, and they can see through you. Be authentically you, and just start. Just start. And it's way less embarrassing, by the way, when you're just getting on there and you're yourself and you're your personality. People will love it. People will love you. If I see one more matcha, Pilates, quick cut up intro, productive day in my life 9 to 5, and it's the same flower claw clip, aloe set, like, I'm going to lose my mind. Not because those aren't good, because I don't respect those videos, because I do. And if you're creating content, I will never make fun of you. I won't. But, like, it's copy and fucking paste, like, because you're trying to get views. Like, do your own thing. If you don't, you have to love creating content. I don't like this whole thing of like, oh, it's great passive income and I'm gonna start a podcast because everyone's doing it and I'm making so much money. That actually enrages me, because you don't love it. It's not something that you're passionate about. It's not what you're meant to do, and people will see through that bullshit. Like, if you really love creating content, then just do it. Like, build it and they will come. Like, I've had so many people DM me this shit about I'm sorry, I'm kind of swearing a lot. I'm trying to work on that. I've had so many people DM me about like, how do I get followers on social media? How do I get followers? Like, this is not the industry for you. If all you want is free shit and a lot of followers, that's so offensive. And maybe I'm being overly sensitive about it, but like, it just bothers me because so many of us love creating content, and it's what we like are so passionate about and love doing, and have put so much effort into making authentic quality content and actually have a passion for. I'm not on here because I want a following. I'm on here because I love helping people. I love helping people. I love helping women specifically. I love getting people excited about learning again. I love people getting excited about coming back to yourself content. I love seeing women find their confidence again, start feeling like themselves again. Like, that's what I want to do with my life. And this just happened to be a great way to do it. But I also love editing videos. I love making little movies and seeing life cinematically and romanticizing things. Oh my God. Like, that's what I love to do. That's what I was made to do. And I'm so grateful that I get to do it. And I hope I get to do it every day until the day that I die. If that is not you, please find something else to do, because you're not going to be good at it. I'm sorry. It's like that whole get rich quick thing that I just hate. So yeah, be yourself and fall in love with it. And if you don't love it, do something that you love to do and just start. If you don't have a niche, if you don't know what to make content about, pick something and just go, and you will figure it out. It's gonna take time. I mean, like, people do this for years. I've been doing this since I was 16 and I'm 24, and I made a full-time career out of it like a year and a half ago. And it's not like a quick passive income, get rich quick thing. It's just not. And I'm not saying that it's like the money that you can make and working your own hours, once you get to that place, is incredible. And the amount of gratitude I have is overwhelming. But it's not like it was super easy getting here. I worked my ass off. I worked like full-time 9 to 5. I actually was working 8 to 6 or 7 in office 5 days a week. And I'm saying that because most people work remotely. No. At least 1 day a week? No. In office, ass up every morning, high heels, full face of makeup, on, hard work every day. And then I went home, didn't eat. I was 95 pounds for like a year because I couldn't feed myself. I didn't work out. And then I go home and I would film 4 or 5 videos at night. And I'd go to bed at like 12 or 1. I wasn't sleeping. My hormones were all messed up. I had bad acne. I literally went to a psychiatrist at one point because I was like, I cry every day. Like, there must be something wrong with me. And he's like, no, you're working like unsustainable hours. I did that for a year and it paid off. And now I have my dream job and I work very hard at it and I put a lot of effort into it, but it's very enjoyable work and I get to work however much I want to. But what you put in is what you get out. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to put in that much work, you know? But yeah, it's a very lucrative job, and it's pretty incredible that this is what I get to do. So anyway, what else? Advice when you're unsure if you're with the one. Good and bad traits, lack of spark, been together for 5 years. Okay. So, I also dated someone for 5 years that I thought I was supposed to marry, and I did not end up marrying him. And now I'm with someone else. And there's 2 things. There's 2 very important things, and then I think everything else is fixable. 1, you have to be into each other. They could treat you like they could worship the ground that you walk on. They could be the most amazing partner, could be the most amazing, healthy relationship in the whole world. Everyone could love you together. If you're not into them, if you aren't, you know, inspired by them, if you don't love who they are as a person, if they're not your favorite person you've ever met, if you don't have so much fun with them, if you don't love hanging out with them, if you're not like, wow, like I really like them. You have to be really, really into each other, and you have to be honest about that. Like, if you, asking yourself things like, if someone came up to you and said, wow, you and your boyfriend are so similar, would you be flattered by that? Or would you be offended by that? You should be really flattered by that. It should be a major, major compliment. They have to inspire you and light you up and challenge you and push you. The best relationships will actually bring out, I want to be careful with this because I don't want this to get misinterpreted. They will push you to become the best versions of yourself. So if you're someone who's anxiously attached, this relationship is going to heal you by pushing you to fix it. It will actually bring out some of the worst, not the worst, but the hard things so that you can fix them. Like, there are things that I needed to work on to be with my boyfriend now. And there are a lot of things he needed to work on to be with me. And it's because we challenge each other to be the best version of each other. And it's because this person's like elevating you. So they need to be someone who inspires you. Like, you need to think that they're inspiring. I think you need to think about what you want and if this person is providing it for you. And I almost want to tell you, if you're not sure, it's a no. That's what I would say. 5 years is a long time. And a lack of spark is gonna happen, you know? 5 years isn't that long for there to be a lack of spark, but it takes a lot of intention. When people say relationships take a lot of work, it's not like hard work. It should be fun work. It's intentional work. And people hate the whole, like, I don't wanna have to play a game. Okay, well, playing a game doesn't always mean being toxic and fake. It means playing and intentionally having fun and intentionally putting an effort and like creating mystery in the relationship. It doesn't mean doing something that's going to make them anxious, but it means creating mystery and doing things that are going to make them wonder about you and constantly putting an effort to keep the quote unquote spark alive. You never stop dating. You never get lazy. So this is either an issue of you've gotten lazy and you've stopped dating each other, or you're not into each other. If you're into each other, if you're really into each other and you never stop dating each other and you can work through things, you're bulletproof, okay? But yeah, my dad has this great saying. He's like, my wife will always be my wife, but I will never stop treating her like she's my girlfriend. And she never stops treating him like he's her boyfriend. Because that mindset of, I'm always trying to win this person over, and I'm always trying to be not good enough, but be my best self for this person. And I'm never gonna get lazy, because that's when you start taking each other for granted. And that's when it's like, okay, well, now we're roommates. So yeah, are you lazy or are you not into them? Or are they lazy or are they not into you? Okay. Please talk about balance regarding alcohol, partying, etc. Okay. So, as I have said, I am a big advocate for a work hard, play hard lifestyle. My boyfriend and I both are. We work very hard during the week. Very, 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 very hard. I don't drink during the week unless it's some one-off thing where I'm getting dinner with someone I haven't seen in a long time, or we have a girls' night during the week, which wouldn't normally happen, and I have like 2 or 3 glasses of wine. But like, no, I don't drink during the week. And then on the weekends, goodbye. That's how I balance it. That's what I do. Friday at 5. But during the week, I pretty much lock in. That's how I balance it. And also, learning how to drink. No more fruity cocktails. No more sugary crap. No more shots. I drink dirty vodka martinis. If I want to drink tequila for some reason, I will do a spicy, skinny ranch water. Clear, no sugar. I will maybe have a glass of wine when I'm getting ready, but like, that's gonna give you a hangover. It's gonna make you feel fat and bloated. It's just not, it's not good. And I love wine, oh my God. If I'm treating myself, I have wine, but like, I like, as an every weekend thing, like it's clear liquid. That's how I do it. I take my supplements every day. I eat very, very clean throughout the week. But then if I'm like on my period and I'm dying, like I'm gonna go to In-N-Out. Or if it's like 1:30 and I'm drunk, I'm gonna order Whataburger. Like, you gotta kind of be easy on yourself, I think. Especially if you're young, like, who cares? So that's my thought process on it. I love partying. I love social interactions. I love being with my friends. I love celebrating life. I love those moments with my girlfriends, like laughing our asses off and telling each other how much we love each other, and like just enjoying myself and like celebrating how much hard work I've done during the week. That's how I balance it. Also, I will be studying while I'm getting ready with a glass of wine in my hand. That's a very common image in my life. How to turn the switch in your head to I don't care and let them. Say it out loud. So if something's upsetting you or someone's doing something that you don't agree with, you need to start saying out loud, so what? Like, who cares? Let them. Just let them. And then you need to shift your energy to something else. Okay? I like to say, thank God. Thank God that's happening, because now this. From now on, everything is an advantage to you. Everything in your life that happens to you is advantageous to you. The worst thing could happen. Of course, you need to give yourself grace and let yourself be sad and process those emotions, but you have to learn to find the value. One of the most powerful skills we will ever learn is stop trying to control the wind and learn to adjust your sails. So anytime something happens to you, instead of trying to figure out why and letting it ruin your mood and spiraling and obsessing, there's a difference between processing your emotions and wallowing. We're not gonna wallow anymore. We're going to say, okay, this happened. This is how I feel about it. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling mad, glad, sad, or afraid. There's only 4 emotions. What is it? Why? Why is this bothering me so much? And okay, I'm gonna choose to let this go. Who cares? Thank God this is happening, because now I'm gonna have more opportunity to hang out with these people. Now I'm gonna have more time to focus on this thing. Now I have an opportunity to find an even better job or an even better person. How is this helping you? How is this gonna make you hotter or smarter or kinder or tougher or more mentally resilient or more emotionally intelligent or make you more money? Is this gonna give you time and the opportunity to pursue a hobby or a project or a side business that you've been procrastinating for years? Find the value in it and say out loud when these things happen, who cares? So what? The world keeps turning. This is either going to be something that benefits me or something that hurts me. Am I gonna be a part of the problem or a part of the solution? You have to choose to be a part of the solution every single time, and you have to be your own biggest advocate. If all you're doing is sitting there thinking over how awful this thing is, you're being your own worst enemy and you're working against yourself. I mean, it's hilarious. It's so counterproductive. And you're in your own way. And that's how you get out of your own way, is you start saying, who cares? Let them. This is how this is gonna be an advantage to me, and this is how I'm gonna take all of that energy and transform it into something productive. Energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. So transform it into something that is helpful to you. You're doing that because any other mindset is not going to serve you. Does that make sense? I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.